Hello, everyone. This is my first live stream, so bear with me if anything goes not ideal, but I was inspired by this tweet and I thought, like, why don't I just live stream and do this? Short intro, my name is Kieran. I'm a GM of Quora. I work at Every, and Every is the only place you really need to subscribe to like get on the edge of AI and really understand what's going on. And that's what we're trying to do today. And Dan has this great tweet that I would say read because this inspired me to say, let's go and yeah, show what I'm going to do. So I'll just give it a few more minutes to get some more people to join. I have no idea how many people are here. Let's go. Hey, John. Cool, it seems it's working. So welcome everyone. Let's start this. My name is Kieran, GM of Quora. I built Quora using AI and I created this system called compound engineering while building it. Yeah, and I want to just share how I work. This is not planned in any way other than I just want to work and show things. So please, if you have questions, drop them in. I will go through them once in a while as well. But really, this is the inspiration. Dan, our CEO of our company, Every, wrote this great thing about agent native apps. So once again, what Every is the only sub you need to stay on top of AI. So if you like this stuff, subscribe to Every. So agent native, what it is. So this is really a shift that's going to happen this year, and we've been kind of trying it out. And Quora was built a year and a half ago or initiated, and is not agent native. So we're trying to make every app, everything in our ecosystem at Every agent native. And what that does is that agents can do the work. And some architectures here that Dan is describing is that anything the user can do in an app, the agent should be able to do that. And I want to focus on this one today because I think that's the first step. Because if you give the agent the ability to take any action in the app, you as a user can do, suddenly a world opens up and you can do so many more things. And we'll go into others as well. But for me, it's this is the focus on today. So other people realize that as well. So Greg says he's going to go agent native as well, which is really cool. This is my plugin, the compound engineering plugin. This is what I will be using. You'll see me use it as well. I'll do maybe some other things about this at some other point, but let's go. So if anyone has any questions at any point, please drop it in the chat. I think I see all the chat here, but we'll see because we're on X and we're on YouTube. So welcome to the live stream. So Quora. So this is Quora. It summarizes my email. It briefs all the emails that are not needed to respond to immediately and sends a brief twice a day. So everything that's very important stays on my inbox that I can deal with, but the rest I get twice a day. And really what I want to do is I want to make whatever I can do in this app here. There's Assistant as well. I can read emails, summaries. I want to expose that to some kind of interface for an agent. And there are different ways to do it, like traditionally, like an API with a client. You can do MCP as well. You can do Playwright or something like that, which is a little bit hacky in this case. So what I want to do is make a CLI, and here I've been just hacking a little bit on some, it is not design, but this prototypes where I imagine like Cora to have some kind of different connectors. So these are connectors where you can connect Cora to the every ecosystem, your calendar, some other things. Maybe an MCP as well, but I'm interested to do a CLI as well. And I think I think the reason to do the CLI is that it's very easy for us to, like, it's something agents know, a CLI. There's no overhead and tokens with MCP. MCP feels like a big thing, and also CLI I can use myself. So I kind of want to start there, and you always reuse the same things. Like if you need MCP, you need the same tool calls and all of that as a CLI. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a CLI, and I think this is a very good first step into making something AI native where there's parity. So if there's a CLI, I can use it, but also other people can use it. And any agent can use it. So if you use Claude Code, for example, or Claude Code SDK, you can just say, hey, this is the CLI, use it. And that's how GitHub does it as well. Cool. Let's see. Cora has a Rails app. There's this Rails project called Terminal Wire, which is very interesting. It's kind of, it's like a CLI, but then you define the CLI and its actions in the app itself. I think it's very cool. Streaming, I did some digging and I like it enough to say, let's use this. So let's do it. So this is the getting started for that. And normally, this is how I go. Let's see. So I use Monologue, which is one of the apps that you get into every subscription as well for voice to text, which is great. So if I'm talking and you see the text appear, that's what it is. Okay, research the documentation for Terminal Wire here in detail, all the steps I need to know, all the information, and can you create a skill from it? So really, what I do here, like maybe Terminal Wire has this already somewhere in an agent's text file or something like that. It's doing Chrome, sure. Well, that's fine. So I want to make a skill. I like to extract this in a skill because then I can just use that skill more often. Okay. Let's see. I'm sure there's a GitHub for this. Terminal Wire GitHub. Terminal Wire, yep. Okay, you find the GitHub for this. That's easier to navigate and then pull all of the information. So this pattern of like you want to research something and then use that in your work. I wouldn't do this if it's just a one-time thing, but since I'm going to use this library a little bit more, is web search off or something? That's, yeah, I don't know. Web. Can you not just grab it yourself without using Chrome? See, this is when you think AI solved everything. it can do it easier. So yeah, I like to extract this into scale. Other examples are like if you want to like deep dive in DSP or digital like sound processing or something like that. I did that over the holidays with Jews and like just read all the books, all the things, deep research, and then create a skill. I think this works pretty well. So let's see. Still really likes to use network processing now. Well, okay. Well, Brad, make an easy page for me to use all of this. This works. But yeah, I'll let this do. And then the next thing. So, okay, so we'll here. Let's start Claude. I start. So let's go to Cora. Let's go to main. So we start Claude Code, bypass permissions, so skip dangerously because that's what I do. So why the skill? Yeah, we don't need the skill really, but if I reuse it, it's handy for the future. So we're here in Claude Code, and yeah, so the compound engineering flow. So the question is like, what is everything a user can do? Like, because the tweet of Dan says like agent native is like feature parity, anything the user can do, the agent can do. And I think we shouldn't one shot say implement everything. I think we should just focus on one thing. Like, first of all, I think I want to make the integration with the CLI and the terminal. So we need to log in and maybe see something like, so authentication layer, something like that. Yep. So let's kickstart. Use web fetch Chrome. I'm done with this Chrome thing. There we go. Let's go. I'm experimenting with new commands. So this is not the actual current command, but I'm thinking to maybe change it a little bit. So I run the plan command, which is the workflows plan command in your version. But yeah, so we have this. I want to add terminal wire CLI to Cora. Can you research everything we have already? Personal access tokens, API keys for users. Can you make a flow where we use that? Yeah, maybe a basic system. So maybe that you can fetch the name of the user or something like that, and then we'll go from there. We want feature parity, use the agent native skill here as well. So you can already think about what it should do, but for now, let's keep it simple for step one. Maybe we can have 2 steps or 3 steps here. Use the agent native skill. Okay, so this is how I start. I kick off a compounding engineering plan command. And what this does, it's going to go through a bunch of research and thinking and iteration about all of this. And I also triggered a command called the agent native skill. And this is a skill you can use. So here, this is a skill from Dan, so agent native. So if you install the compound engineering plugin, you get the skill as well. And this skill is basically grounding itself in what the philosophy is and what you should do and what you shouldn't do. So you don't need to explain what it should do, because Dan or other people who will contribute to here will do that. So like this is kind of an example of what agent native means. So that's cool, and we'll keep updating this. So there it goes, and it injected this skill, and yeah, it will use that. Okay, I'll let this run. I'll quickly check if all the streams are going well. So normally, if you run this, either I go drink some water, which I can do now, or I stretch a little bit, or I go to another feature, or worst case, I check X. Whatever floats your boat. Practice some piano playing. The philosophy of the compound engineering flow is like it is user in the loop, but it's also like the goal is to have you in the loop the least amount, and it's not to save tokens. It's also not to max tokens. It's just to finding a good balance between reaching what the models actually are capable of without you having to like struggle to make it do that. Like it should feel like a colleague or something that supports you rather than something that annoys you all the time and does the wrong thing. So like a good senior colleague, senior style colleague, something like that. And the most important part about planning is after the planning phase, I get a plan out and I want to review the plan. So I open that plan and then see if I like it or not. So we can start thinking also, this is one other thing I do once this is running, I can start thinking about what is the next step, what is the next thing we have to do. And I think the next thing is after the CLI is to see what parity is, like what is everything a user can do. So we could even already start a plan for that. So let's do that actually. So we will have a complete picture of everything the user can do. So I'll split panes here and go plan compound. Use the agent native skill. And I want to investigate everything a user can do in Cora. So we have an extensive list of everything it can do, and we can design a CLI interface for all these features so that the CLI can do exactly the same thing as the user can do. So this is more research towards feature parity, which is nice. So we'll just kick that one off. You can see I'm not in a work tree here. I'm not coding yet, but you could go into a work tree if you want to, but we're just doing planning stuff, and to plan, markdown files will be generated from this that I can review. So yeah. There is a command for research as well. So it finished the 3. Like, this is what I found to be like the golden standard. Like, you get really good results with these 3 agents, and there's a next step after this, which is like spec flow analyzer, which is kind of looking at the big picture and seeing if anything is missed. This is like drilling into the details, and now someone is going to look at, like, hey, does it flow? Did we miss a step? Did we miss a screen? Anything like that. So that's what it's doing now. And it uses sub agents here. So you have kind of a clean context window, because all of the deep research, all of the tokens here, like 40,000, 70,000, 48,000, they're only inside the sub agent, and they just pass their findings to the main agent, which is a very nice pattern. Also, it works way quicker since it goes in parallel. Also, if anyone has questions, just drop them in the chat. I do see them here. I'm figuring out what works, but I think it's interesting to see how people work. My favorite things are just people doing work and being themselves. So it always inspires me. Let's go here. So, okay, so we have the terminal wire skill here, which is nice. So I'll download this. So why do I do this in Claude and not in, why don't I do this in Claude Code? The reason is that there is the deep research, which is very good, and the deep research agent is pretty good and going for a long time. So I like to do that. I didn't do deep research here because it kind of takes a while. But yeah, like, I like to do it here for some reason. Obviously, Claude Code can do it as well. But the skill I use here is just the standard create here. What is it? Capabilities, I think. Just the standard. Example skills, is that it? Yeah, skill creator here. So if you enable skill creator here, then you can just say, do this, and then create a skill. So capabilities, example skills, and then skill creator. It's also on the GitHub repo, and you can install it from there as well. Yeah, for people that just joined, welcome. We're building something. So first of all, we're working on Cora, which is my product I work on, which drafts give you, it summarizes email that you shouldn't look at immediately, and sends draft twice a day. So you just have a calm, more peaceful inbox with only stuff you really should look at. And I'm going to make this app more AI native, agent native, which is a thing we're like figuring out now what that is and how that works. And agent native architecture is something then figured out whenever Opus 4.5 launched. It was like, okay, this is time, it works. And the first thing is making sure that the user can do anything in the app, the agent can do as well. And I chose to go build a CLI for Cora. So we're building a CLI for Cora and making sure everything the user can do, the CLI can do as well, which means if you give that CLI to your agent, the agent can do anything as well, which is nice. So on the left here, we're creating a plan, and I'm using the Compound Engineering plugin. You can install that as well and use this yourself too. Left, I'm doing a planning phase for integrating Terminal Wire, which is a library to create CLIs inside a Rails app that I like. And on the right, we're researching what it is and means to be feature parity between the CLI and the user. Like, what can the user do actually? And it's researching that. So on the left is done. There are a few things in this flow that you can use. Also, you can see here, it's storing it inside the native plans directory that Claude has. This is like a early version of this version of the plugin. This is a little bit different for yours. But what I like to do now is either review the plan. You can deepen it. This is just more token maxing, but if you're like YOLO, just go hard, why not? I use it normally more on fun projects where I'm like, well, let's see how far the agent can go. This is like just testing the model a little bit. It's going very hard on everything with every angle. You can review where you're like, hey, actually, I don't want to review it. Let the agent just review it, which is this one. Or you can say, just start working on it. I don't even want to look at it. But we're going to look at it. This is what I would do normally for actual production things, and this is actual production thing. Thousands of people use Cora, so I don't want to YOLO anything here. Here it is. So I use Typora, and I just like to read my plans in a little bit of a nicer way. So I have this theme here. I think the theme is called Appearance Whitney. Whitney is the theme. And I like it. So let's see. So this is the plan that's generated here. A CLI interface to Cora using Terminal Wire, allowing users to interact with the app via command line. Terminal Wire streams CLI apps over WebSockets, which is interesting. So if you update your app, your CLI is updated immediately. So you don't need to update your CLI ever, which is a very cool concept. The CLI runs on the server with full Rails access while client's okay, blah, blah, blah. Brett is the creator of Terminal Wire. I met him a few weeks ago in San Francisco while being at SF Ruby, and and he built something really cool. And I think, I used it for another project before to see how it is, kick the tires a little bit, and I decided let's use it for Cora. Okay, currently Cora interaction requires web interface, power user developers, AI, benefit CLI, sure. Like, and you can always bring that back to the app and stuff like that. But like just leveling the playing field, we should have programmatic access or like agentic access. Scripting automation, sure. Native, yep. Okay, sure. Sounds good. Very nice, not aligned sheet. I should probably do Mermaid. I should probably make a note here. Let's see. Let's quickly do that. So I have modify plugin. In the plan, can you make sure that we use Mermaid Markdown always? Just include it in the plan, the compound version of the planning, and can you also update this plan to use Mermaid Markdown? So this is how I develop compounding engineering. I have these meta things where I just say, oh, this is wrong, fix it. And so it does it like this. So it's like this plugin I use daily and update daily, since this is how I do it. You can actually also do that by report bug, I think, reports. Yeah, you can do report bug, and then it reports it in my repo, and then I can look at it, or you can do something. Okay, so it will be updated. I don't like this. But really, the idea is this is how it works. But I know how that works. Okay, so this is interesting. API token model I know already have, so we use that. 30-day expiration, sure. User personal account by default. No, that's wrong. Because, this is wrong. So we have accounts. Okay, so this is one thing we need to update. So okay, here we go. It looks nicer. Okay, let's iterate on here. This is actually wrong if you look at how Quora works. You should use non-personal accounts because that's where the Gmail accounts are coupled to. We don't want to switch to personal accounts. This is just for billing purposes. So can you change that, UltraThink? UltraThink. I don't know why I didn't get that. I triggered UltraThink here. Yeah, so this is so here it's deploying or like releasing improvements in version 3. No one has, or that's a branch if you want to try it out, but it did that. So you can see how cool Opus 4.5 is. It can like switch context between working on the plugin versus the project, going back and forth. It's not losing sight, and I think that's very good. Yeah, it's very good at that. Okay, so it goes there a little bit. Token validation. Okay, that's fine. We have the API tokens. Phases, MVP is this. Okay, so it's going to allude to some more already. Login, logout, who am I, status, help. Yeah. And I like, so in these commands, I like to have a Quora prime as well or something like that. And the prime is kind of the custom prompt or instructions for AI. It's a little bit like Beats. Beats is, or like inspired by Beats. Okay, so it's updating that. Let's do that. In commands, I think it's good to add a prime command as well, which is basically a description or its help, but then specifically for agents on what to do and how to work. So you can run that, and then the agent is fully primed how to use the CLI in detail and what to do and what not to do. So can you add that command as well? And I think we should do that also. So I'll also do modify plugin. Can you also add this into the agent native architecture, that if you are building a CLI tool, that there is a prime command with these instructions? I think that's beneficial. So in the future, that won't happen. So basically what we're now doing is compounding a little bit, making sure, but this is a little bit meta because I'm working on the plugin from here. So I'll add that there. This plan is also done, which is good. We'll go after that. Status help, sure. Okay, files looks like, where I look in files is like, do I see any red flags? I'm not going into detail. Do I see anything that doesn't look good? Current user, current account as well with tenant. Yep. Yeah, okay, looks good. These are the actual, so this is cool because these are CLI every login, and then it runs this. So it's streamed from here. So you define the logic on the server, which is really cool. It's interesting because if I push an update, your CLI is immediately updated. So it's especially good when you're figuring out what's going on here. There's some lag. So if you go for like the most performant thing, but like it is already an API call either way. So it doesn't matter if we do it like this or, yeah. So this is a little bit weird. It's messed up some formatting here, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, so prime is here as well. So this, okay. Sure, we can commit that. So our production Okay, you make sure that we use our production URL. I think we have it already defined, so on localhost and production, it works correctly as well. And okay, so agent native, classify, brief, yeah, so wow, okay, it did a whole roadmap. So I think I did ask for this. But I think we should put this into the next. Yeah, so maybe read operations and agent native enhancement. So phase 2 and 3, I'll just remove. Can we remove phase 2 and 3? I'll do this in a different plan. And then next, what I want to do is make sure, like, we're doing the terminal wire away. Terminal wire. Just want to see here. Read. Okay, you read the getting started of terminal wire here and see if we follow all these steps. Just a double check. Okay, you read everything in terminal wire and see if we do these as a double check. We can use their generators. And this is me. I just want to make sure it's correct that we're following the steps there, because AI can like hallucinate a little bit. And also, yeah, also I created this skill, but that kind of went a little bit slow or weird. So I just want to make sure. And then we'll do a final check of the plan. And really the most work always with this is the planning phase. Also, for anyone joining later or now, this is the company I work for, Every, and we write about AI and we predict, like, this one is cool, the predictions for 2026. These are all the products you get access to. And yeah, it's all very good content. So it's, if you want to not miss out on anything or like understand what's happening, we're all doing this full time and really giving you the summary of everything you want to know. Most likely, yeah, we do miss stuff, but we're really on the edge, really trying to push this. Okay, cool. Plan here, summarize. Okay, edit. Okay, good. Okay, let's then open this plan now and let's start working. So workflows, work. This one was terminal wire CLI. So I can say terminal wire oh yeah, okay, yeah, it's now, that's interesting. So it's now this is new. Yeah, let's see if this works. It's in my main Claude directory here because I try to mimic Claude a little bit. But yeah, it gets it. Okay, so I say work on this. And normally the first step of the work, you want to stay, oh yeah, like maybe let me do it again. And normally what best practice is to just start clean. I just went and it started compacting. So let me clear here and just do work on here. I think that's better. Work, boom. There we go. Clean. sheet. So normally work looks at the plan, see if anything is missing or needs any more questions before starting. We'll see it's going to look at that quickly. So if it's going, then we'll jump into the plan for an implementation phase here. Documentation, help. Yeah, for now it's okay. Audit logging. Okay, those are probably good, but not for now. Like I'm going to use it first. Maybe whoever wants to, beta users, if you're in the beta package. Okay, it's going. You can see it checked out a branch here. It's installing it, so we'll let it go. We'll go here. No other questions. Okay, so you can see here. Yeah, so this one would be cool to see if it can do it in one go. I would say this is more if you vibe code. You can say YOLO go or deepen plan, and hopefully it works. With the actual production app, I would try to break it up into things, but let's see if yeah, if this is the right direction. So it's not a REST API actually, so that is already okay. So it needs to look at. We don't need a REST API. This is the format we'll use. So can you look at this plan and then adjust the plan for that? So you can see I kind of needed to tell it already that, and it's already starting to create an implementation plan. But let's skip the technical things. Let's just see what are the things. So here we are briefs. So authentication is sure. We have briefs listing, showing, marking as read, unread, delete, Gmail copy. Sure. Yeah. Well, this is a good list. Core inbox list. Archive, return, drafting, showing all drafts, sending to-dos. Actually, to-do might be an interesting one to start as a thing because it's kind of here. So it's a feature we have, but it's not great, which is this list here, and you can say, hey, you can click here and say add to do, and it comes here. But that's it. So it might be a cool place to maybe the to-do is the next one we can do a CLI for. It's not super useful, but it's at least, yeah, so, it's a system that is not super used and might be very interesting. So to-do is an interesting. So what I do here is I get inspired, basically. I didn't think of to-dos as a good one, but while reading it, I'm like, oh yeah, actually to-dos might be interesting as a first feature for the CLI, because I don't want to do everything in one go. Categories is interesting, but also it's a little bit complicated with classification rules. Chat is also a good one, where you can just say, hey, so what that means is, what day do I go to Panama? For example, you can ask questions like this. And it will search your email, and the fun part is it's way better than the built-in Gemini Gmail version. Like, I don't know why or how, but this is like 1,000 times better than is actually usable. So like it would be cool to have this in the CLI because you can ask anything about your emails. So there we go. Chat is a good one. Memories is interesting too because settings is also interesting. Account management, subscription, utility commands. Okay, so I think it updated the, yeah. Okay, so yeah, it's this technical approach. You can see it remember to use Mermaid Markdown. It's updated the framework. Okay, so let's iterate on that a little bit. So I think we can break this up in sections, and I kind of like to start with the to-dos and the chat maybe as a first feature. So can you move that in phase 1 and then move everything else to phase 2 and zoom in on those a little bit more? And the beautiful part is on the left, it's like doing the CLI now and doing everything while I'm working on the next thing that it's going to work on. And you can do multiple projects too, but this is my happy place, I have to say. Okay, it's a running test now there. So the next thing I'm have, okay, this is high level what we need to do. Let's see if it already thought about it actually, like how do we do, yeah, it has the implementation here already. So it's kind of like controllers in Rails. It just routes model data and structures it somewhere, and it, like here, I guess it gives back JSON. And like this should probably be everywhere. Yeah, maybe that we should do the to-dos, and like the agent is maybe already a little bit more complicated since it's streaming, and yeah, I don't, like technically we could do it, but it might need an entire rewrite of the service for streaming as well. So I think first we should do, actually, can you do to-dos only in phase 1, and can we create, yeah, can you create 2 different documents? So maybe move everything else into the repo plan directory so we can work on it later for reference later, and we can now change this one we're working on the to-dos for the to-dos only and deepen that one. Okay. If anyone joins, we're doing coding on Cora, which is my app I built. I work at Every, and I'm using my compound engineering plugin here. If you're curious, just install it by running these 2 commands. I'll put them in the chat if anyone wants to, if that works. Yeah, that works. Nice. Maybe next time I can get some background music going, but I just wanted to go live before anything else. Okay, so on the left, we're almost there. We almost have it working. We have all the tests. We have the lints running now. So that's cool. And I think yeah, I want to try it out and see what it does, and yeah, create a pull request and do some more testing. But I think that's a good first start with this, and I'll keep you posted. And probably it will roll out soon. Can you try this out? Can you start the server and can you run the commands and show me how it works? I think it's in bin, right? In bin Cora or something like that. So this is the best part about Opus 4.5. Before coding, you needed to test everything yourself. Like if it was test, yeah, sure, it could run it automatically. But since this is actually, this is a CLI tool, it can run it very easily. But also if it's Playwright or a browser, it's very easy. So agent native is also great to develop for, since the agent can test the agent native CLI. So yeah, that is nice. Okay, let's see. It needs to start up the server. I think it's just an old server. Okay, there we go. It's running. And then I want to do it manually as well, because why not? That's fun. Can you try to log in with the test user from the seed data and make sure every command works? Okay, this looks like a nice error. So I did change some things in the terminal wire, like I forked the project and did some things there. So it might be just broken there. And there we go. Okay, it works now. See? So this command, this is streaming from the server, which is really cool. And if you change anything, yeah, it immediately adapts. Okay, well, it's not doing anything, so, or it's going wrong. Core API token. Okay, I want to just do login, and then it goes through like a instruction of go here on your Core account, copy the API token and paste it here. I want it to work like that. Sure, you can do Core API token as override as well, but can you see if that flow works? And maybe it works also. Compacting, I don't care. It's fine. I let it compact all the time. Although it's good to just start new and fresh. I think that's better probably, but it's not too bad compacting, at least after they rolled back their continuous compacting that broke everything. Okay, so basically, if the login works in authentication, I think it's ready. Okay, it doesn't work when piping. Sure, okay. Maybe you can also pass it as an argument, as an option. Ultrathink, what is the cleanest way, best practices? Okay. Here we have the plan here and the phase 2 here. Good. Can you commit the phase 2? And this one is here. So this one we can do after. It's not bad. Like I almost have everything working and we're 58 minutes in. Normally what I do is I work in 2-hour blocks where I work 25 minutes Pomodoro style, 5-minute break, 25 minutes, etc. And in those 5 minutes, I just walk around or do something else. But now I feel way too much pressure of these 2 people watching this. So thank you for watching. But if you like this format, I'll do more. Personally, I like this because it makes me share a little bit of my thinking, and it's very low effort for me. This is what I do either way. So the only thing I change is that I talk about it. So yeah. Please give feedback on what you like, what you don't. I think background music is nice for next time. You can work along. Yeah, so the prime works. You're interacting with Quora. Log out does not work. Okay, so it works. Login works, great. Session destroy doesn't work. In terminal, okay, sure. Well, it almost works. Let's reset. Okay, there we go. Also, I think we need to authenticate in most places. So should we just do a before action for certain things, or what do you think? What I'm thinking actually next is we should just do this login, and we should also do the to-dos only plan, because then we have like, yeah, then we have something. We have something that actually is useful, because now it's not useful. So we'll finish this and then we'll add that to it and then we'll review. Okay, some good questions. Oh, okay. Apparently, I have lots of views on X and chat messages that don't come through here. Sorry. It looks like there are like 2 people watching here, so cheers. I need to figure that out next time. But there are some good questions. Pedito asks, how do you feel about using libraries, boilerplate, versus just having Claude Code with the minimal functionality you need directly and having it in the core code base? That's a good question, because I chose to use terminal wire in this case, but clearly you can just code this very easily yourself. I personally like using libraries because it because it just focuses the AI to just use that. So I just say, look at the source code, and then it's more structured. obviously you can do it yourself, and if things cost money, you can just vibe code it. That's fine. But I like to have a boilerplate. But you can also create your own boilerplate. Obviously, you can do that as well. But that's my preference. I use the free warp version. Like I like it, but not enough. And also I've like another thing where I do Tmux here. So you can Tmux, and this is running on a different machine somewhere. But yeah, like P Ditto, I like to like have frameworks and things, and that's also why I have the compound engineering framework. It's like something I know, I feel comfortable with. I feel it helps me. So yeah, like that's kind of the idea there. Do you tend to multi-thread projects or focus on one at a time? Let's see. This is hard. Like I want to do like 20 projects. That's my dream, and that's also why I'm creating this Tmux thing here, where I can just say, hey, work on this. Boom. Claude Code starts here. Okay, do something here, and then I switch back to here, and do something here, then switch to here. So it's going to happen. It's a little bit hard to do all of that while live streaming as well, and also me explaining everything. So for live streams, I think more focus is good, but I like to do as many as possible. But clearly, my brain is the bottleneck here. So, but having frameworks and systems in place where it just nudges you and helps you make decisions. Yeah, I like multi-threading projects as well. And you saw me do it already. If you were earlier in, I was making changes to my compound engineering plugin while being in here. I think Opus 4.5 is very good at like pooling things. So if you work on something, just making changes to a library you use in there, and then another, or making a pull request like to like even an external library with a fork. It's very good at doing all of that. So why Typora and not Obsidian? I installed Typora at some point. But Obsidian is great too. I just wanted the viewer that viewed it something. So yeah, let's see if I can go to X if there are any things here as well. Okay, cool. Okay, we have this. So we have test passing, we have it working, we have a token option, Claude Code. This all works. My question is, okay, what is the Cora command versus the Cora-dev command? I don't really understand it. Can you look at the documentation between the differences? Is this what is instructed? Like, should we do it like this, or is bin Cora just always development? Okay, and after that, I want to go work on this. So, and then review it, and then I think we'll wrap it up. Like probably 10, 20 more minutes. Also, welcome to our live show. That's what I tweeted. It's funny. I need to, anyone have good documentation or Claude Code skills for setting up a streaming thing, please shout out, send it to me on X. Whatever is easy. But I do like the streaming, yes. And also, if someone wants to join me once, shoot me a message on X as well. If you have an idea or like questions or like struggling with something, like let's jam together. Like I would love to do it together. I'll do some more podcasts and stuff soon as well for that, but just like randomly jamming is always the best. Okay, so it is doing the generation again. Okay, what I'll do is here, like we're in the same branch, which is fine. So here, let's go. I have it here. I'll just clear this here. We're going to go a little bit rogue. Okay, so it is doing this. Okay, now it's for development. Okay, great. We'll just work with 2 agents in one directory, which is dangerous, but you can totally do it. If you just focus one on testing and the other one on work, that's fine. I do that as well. One way to even do it is having 2 and then use beats and say, yo, add to-dos with one, and then one is implementing it, and then the third is actually testing if it works. And then you have 3 sessions running at the same time, coordinated by beats, which is kind of fun as well. You can do research in one and then have it work and all of that. Another time, maybe. Okay, so this is it. Commit. And then we're going to clear out this one. And we're going to go back to here and say work. Boom. And that will implement the to-dos. And I think if that should not take too long. That's very easy. And then we have kind of a MVP CLI feature done in an hour and something, which is amazing. And I think I could have done this. Yeah, I use a library here, and actually the library you pay a license for because Brad is a single developer, and like it's like I support him obviously. But that also made me do this way quicker because he thought about what he likes. Like he's a Rails engineer that likes CLIs and solve a problem and solve that for himself and for others. And I'm just riding that wave. And other things you should check out from Peter Steinberger, PT, and Stijpiet. This one, for example, like Peter has so many good ones. And for example, like just install this and use it. For example, this is a CLI for X. So convert X into agent native, basically, so you can hook it up. But then you don't need to do this from scratch. So I'm like, just pick where you want, but at the same time, I'm like building an orchestration agent here from scratch with like commands and things in Tmux. So do whatever you want, but sometimes you want to just pick people that have taste and know what they're doing as well. Okay, clarifying question. Externals, eternal, no S. Rails convention. Can you check what the best practice is in terminal wire, because that's what we're using. So make sure terminal wire, and yes, it's now Bincora. Add has prefix ID, sure. Okay, so this is cool because it's kind of finding still things that are missing in the plan. What the first step in the plan is always, it checks whether it's missing anything and then asks for anything else. And the beauty is, like, we use this to work on a plan generated by my plugin, but you can totally use this to work on a plan generated by your tech lead or by someone else using a different flow. Like there are different ways to do this. You can use plan mode in Claude, for example. If you like plan mode, like sometimes I use plan mode because it's a little bit lighter and less heavy. And you can do that, or you can say work on this bug report on GitHub, and you say work, and then you pass the GitHub issue, and then it pulls the GitHub issue. So it's super flexible. You don't need to use all the steps. You can just use one step. And the same for planning. You can create the plan and push it to a GitHub issue and have an actual engineer look at it and implement it, although that's done. But look, there are dumb people in this world. So let them do their dumb thing until they see the light. But probably if you're one of the 2 people that watch this, 11 people now, major, then you know, because either you're on X or you're on YouTube and you're like, I don't know, but if you're on X, you know. Okay, prefix ID, let's go. It's doing its thing. Definitely music, background music next time. Or maybe even live music, because I have Ableton Push here. I just redid my room and installed my computer speakers things. So yeah. Oh, I have 2 views on X as well. Thank you all. Appreciate your watching. Okay, output helpers. Okay, I already see. What is this? Output helpers that's in the application terminal. I know already there has to be a better library for this. So Brad, please share best practices. How do you do output? Would love to see some examples here. I know maybe we can go like a view layer where there's like a .cli, .erb or something like that. That would be kind of cool. Maybe hack on that some other time if anyone feels inspired. Or maybe it should just be Markdown. Yeah. Someone says, I think Dex was talking about doing PR review just on the plan rather than implementation. I like the idea of working at that higher level. Yeah, yes, yeah, totally. That's what I do all the time. So when the plans are done, we did it manually now, which is like more control, but you can totally automate that and you can just run the review commands that I have for pull requests just on the plan. Because the whole point is if you catch the errors in the plan, it won't make the mistake. And it's just early on. So like it's if the plan is good, it's pretty good at just figuring it out. Like Codex 5.2 and Opus 4.5, they're both very, very good at just doing and completing shit and testing and fixing it. So like what we're looking at now is really boring, really, because it's kind of working. Actually the interesting part is the plan and the style extraction. Like, do you have good taste? Do you have do you pick the right libraries or the framework, or are you even solving the right problems? So yeah, I know people are saying I don't have 2 people on X. I'm joking, guys. Everyone, thanks, and gals, everyone, thank you for watching. But for some reason on my Riverside studio, it says I have 11 people watching my stream. So it's just funny. It's good for my ego because then I can just say more real things, I guess. Okay, it's compacting again. I don't really care about compacting. It can do whatever it wants. I feel it's pretty good in handing off. People complain because it shortens the context window. I want to flip it a little bit and say it's your job to use more sub agents because that will shorten the context window. So I think, yes, you can increase the context window by just disabling auto compacting, but it makes it less smooth. Like you need to remember to do compacting, and it's like a very active, involved process. And I think the whole power of AI development is that you don't need to be involved as many times. So yeah, maybe it's more performant, but if you want to optimize anything, just say less or use more sub agents, because if you say less and use more sub agents, that will reduce the context window. So yeah, that's my take. I just like convenience. So yeah. Okay. I think it's implemented and it's doing the testing now, so that's great. And I think everyone that wants to, so okay, so let's go back. Everyone, so we're doing this, we're converting traditional software into agent native software. And the first step is to expose everything a user can do in an app to an agent or in a way, and you can do MCP or whatever. We chose a CLI because developers, we love CLIs and TUIs. So, and also you can use this abstraction then again for MCP, and you can do all of that. Brad, business idea: convert terminal wire into an MCP adapter. Let's see. Oh yeah, I like the idea of emergent capability, but how to distinguish that from a bug? Yeah, so let's see, where is that? The emergent. So this is the interesting part, and this is really what I love Claude Code for, and what Boris is so great at is like we're doing stuff he didn't even know you could do, or like everyone is. They're doing that, yeah. And the question is like, I like the idea of immersion capability, but how to distinguish that from a bug, which is kind of saying it's not a bug, it's a feature. It's like that's the flip side of it, and I think it's important to give flexibility. So what this means is you give building blocks to users, and you say, I trust you all. And you can screw up things probably with these because it's easier to screw up things, but you can also create pretty cool things. It's a little bit Claude Code as well. So it is a power user thing. As long as it's not dangerous, I think it's fine. Like if it deletes all your email, probably that's not a good thing. Or if it sends an email to like thousands of users without like a check, I think that's probably also not good. But yeah, like if we discover that by exposing a to-do thing through the CLI that like everyone wants to integrate it with, like suddenly people use to-dos for read list, like to read, like build a reader on top of it. Like it could be like you could say, I want a cool reader experience in Cora, and you say add a to-do, and then we're like, oh, but a lot of people show this and they share it on X or they share it with me. Like, well, great. I've never thought about that use case or that flow, but let's pull it in. It could be a flip side even where agents push things to Cora. Like Cora is made for reading your email, but I don't know, maybe some people want to push their WhatsApp into Cora. Who knows? And it's kind of cool to give that. And probably things break, but we'll also learn. I'm just an optimist, so I don't think it will break. And also, I think Opus 4.5 is, Opus 4.5 is very good and not messing up and screwing up. Like it's very good. So like this is the first mod. Like when I got early access to Opus 4.5, I was testing it. I just felt something like the same that I felt when GPT-4 came out and Sonnet 3.5 came out. I told my wife, like, okay, the world has changed again. And I texted Dan in our private channel, said, holy fuck, it's big, or like, and you don't want to claim those things that early because you don't want to look like a fool that just like hypes everything up, because I don't like hyping everything up. I want to make sure it's actually true, but I was like, holy fuck, like this is amazing. So, and I think we're just scratching the surface of what this can do, and how good it is. And especially like the longer, like this model is very good at thinking long term, which means it can like start to see missing pieces in flows. It can like do like screen things and clicking through with Playwright very well. There's like this, it feels like it opened up a new dimension. and also in like it can work on code base further than itself, like in libraries, and like it's very good at all of that and not making mistakes. And I think using a framework like compound engineering, you just even push it even further. Like you don't need to use the framework for everything anymore, because you can just like, I don't use it for everything, because if I just want to vibe code something, like I'll just do it and it's very good at it. But using a system like this makes it even better. So yeah, and yeah, but yeah, like try it out. Even DHH, creator of Rails, is now impressed with AI models, which says a lot. He was always a skeptic, and he says, okay, finally I like what it writes. So that means people that have very good taste, very high standards, and are like the best engineers in the world now actually see value. Like the models are now at a level where these engineers are impressed with it. And I work with Ulik. He's a very talented engineer as well, and he was always a little bit skeptical. But I've been saying, like, use Opus 4.5, use Opus 4.5, use my plugin. And over the holiday break, he's been sending me like vibe coded apps left and right, and he redid whole libraries in like a day. He was like, oh, okay. And he still likes to write code. I don't, but he just likes writing code. But he's like, this is very interesting and this is amazing. So yeah. Okay, so it's still doing something. It's still going. It's just a test. Hello, everyone. I'm live coding. One thing I learned is the audience for AI coding is a little bit higher on X in live streaming than on YouTube. But hello, YouTube. maybe this will find its ways somewhere. I like YouTube as well. Okay, it's I think it's done. And really what I do now is normally I just try it out by just running some commands and stuff. Because these are tests, you never know if it said assert true or like stopped some very important endpoint to always return true or something like that, because then it fixed the test, although it's not as normal anymore. Okay, so it's running all tests. Okay, can you now manually use the Cora CLI in bin Cora and just log in, add some to-dos, make sure everything works, and then let's go. After everything works, actually, you can create a pull request, because I think we're ready for that. Okay, I think an hour and a half, we'll hit this. That's great. Oh, interesting. I hope everyone can hear me, though. I think so, because I see a different image that streams to X than to my Riverside. Let's see if I can see it here as well on YouTube, how it looks there. Oh yeah, you don't see my screen either here. That's weird. Okay. Well, I thought I was streaming with the camera, but apparently it's not showing that. which is fine. But next time I'll say hi. And we need background music because this is very boring. Okay, so it completes to-dos, which is cool. It can interact, it can update them, can list them all. And the fun, okay, this is kind of fun because I initially included priority and due date and status in to-dos, but that was removed from at some point in a design. So we actually have more feature-rich CLI commands here with the to-do than we have in Cora itself, which is kind of funny. Yeah, I think this is it. So it's all working. I'm going to create a pull request and then saying a review, which is workflows review, and it just reviews it all. It's also compound engineering, and if anything is called there, it will fix it. I will release this later today. If you want access to it and you are a Cora user, you can go to Cora.computers/settings, and there's this thing beta, and you can say, I want to be the first to try new features and opt in as beta user. And if you go here in settings, then you can opt in and you'll get access. You can get early access to that. So yeah. Let's see, there are some more questions. What's the single most important piece of advice you'd give a junior software engineer in the age of AI? Don't be boring. Don't listen to old engineers because they're probably not right. Go on X. And third, subscribe to Every, because we are figuring out what the hell junior engineers should do. Like, I don't know, but what I've seen is junior engineers are actually very, very good for this because they are more primed towards working with AI. I work with a very talented engineer, Nitesh. He worked on Cora. He's now working on the consultancy side from Every, and he just learned Ruby on Rails using ChatGPT. Well, if you just lean into that and really you'll get it. Like, if you just do that, don't do the old school stuff. Just make sure you listen to the right people, because that will work. Also, it depends figure out what type of engineer you are. Are you an engineer that likes to write code? Maybe do another job. If you're an engineer that likes to solve solutions and be creative and create plans and have taste and have an opinion and refine that, you'll be fine. But if you like to write code or do bookkeeping and spreadsheets, or you'll have a hard time. So that's my advice for just realize what kind of engineer. I've been using Conductor lately, great for multi-threading, get work trees by default. Ever tried that one? Yes. I shouted out Peter Steinberger earlier in this episode, and I've never really gotten into Conductor because I just want to create my own thing, and that's where this thing of do I use a library or an app, or do I do my own, comes to play. I'm just too much of a nerd and tinkerer that that part I just want to do myself. But for other things, I'm perfectly fine using, for example, his X CLI tool. I'm very happy to use. So okay, so review here. So yeah, whatever works for you. There's no right or wrong. And also, I use my compound engineering plugin, and you can use it. It's open source, but the best thing would be even to just look at it and be inspired by something and create something that works for you. It's not the thing. It's more of this is a philosophy. This is the way it works. So yeah, if Conductor works for you, that's great. It is really cool. And also, it is the plan mode now is inspired by my theme. So Peter did implement the same theme that I use here. So that's kind of funny that he implemented that. So yeah, I like that, but in many ways you can do this. But this is what I like now, is like I'm trying to come up with my own like tmux based agentic flow here. So I'll share more of that. It's really cool, but it needs some more work. Cool. Okay, so now last step, it created pull requests. Here, it's somewhere here. Boom. Let me open it here. So I still use GitHub for some reason. I don't know why, but that's the old school engineer in me. I do scroll through it and look at everything. You can see the step 2 phase is here. The tests are here. The terminal's here. And everything is implemented. It's reviewing now, and this is really where you can customize your compound engineering thing, where you can add your own review agent as well. It will pull in review agents that you have in your own local version. So that's a good way to do it as well. Let me just do the whole flow. We'll let this run as well. I'm having fun because there's a cool step called triage. I'm actually writing a piece. It will come out on Thursday on Every, so subscribe to Every. It will come out on Thursday, where I go through the details of all these agents and what the plan mode is. And really the point is you want to review a lot, like you need to review a lot of code, and especially now everyone is using Claude Code apparently after the holidays, everyone is into Claude Code, which is amazing. But that means also there's a lot of code to review. So like, how do you review code, and how can you automate that, and how can you make sure that you are in control, because it's a lot of stuff. And reading through like this, like you see, I'm not going to read through this. And there is a way, which is the review command here, where I do that, that can make sure you feel confident about the code you write. It's almost done. So basically it has all these sub-agents do analysis and reviews. So we have Code Simplicity Reviewer, which is like, it's less relevant, but it's still relevant, where Claude Code tries to make things too complex or backwards compatible or whatever. DHH Rails Reviewer will shit over anything that he doesn't like. Pattern recognition specialist sounds so, but they're like software patterns, best practices. Agent native reviewer, which is basically Dan giving me a lesson on how this is not agent native. I think the agent native reviewer is very happy with this. It should be very happy. The architecture, performance related, and security related. And it will bring all of these things in findings, and then we'll go through it using a triage command, which is this. And it will just ask me questions and say, hey, I found this, like blah, blah, blah. I want to suggest to do this and this and this. What do you want to do? You'll see it. And this is like a conversational review. It's more like you sit down with the engineer that wrote the code, and then had another engineer review everything and make comments, and then you are the tech lead because they cannot make a decision what the best solution is. You're the tech lead and say, you need to make a decision because we have this conflict. I don't know what to do, and we need your input. It's kind of that vibe here. So we'll do that, and then normally after that, I feel very confident to release this. Like clearly, I'm not immediately releasing this, and there's like another step to enable this for certain people. like for beta users, stuff like that. But if no one knows about how to install the CLI, you can release it, right? So probably that's what I will do. Okay, it's almost done. So it's going to collect everything it found. This is all the findings. Okay, so we have 2 critical. Okay, cross-tenant email lookup. Sure, does seem good. Exit codes, nice. No rate limiting. Sure. Timing attack on token lookup. Sure. So I go through this already a little bit duplicates. So, okay, it is compacting now. But what it does now is it's going to store all of these in to-dos and then create markdown files. You'll see. And then we're going to triage all of these and say, yes, we want to do these or not. We'll just go through the whole flow. Even if it takes 20 more minutes, it doesn't matter. I have 15 viewers on YouTube. Hi, 15 viewers. Welcome. I feel honored. Okay. Yeah, so this, okay, so to-dos, it's a thing. I have a skill, so let me show you what that is. Compound engineering plugin, to-do skill, file to-dos. It's a skill. Basically, yeah, you can use to-dos for whatever you want, but I use this in mine. And like if you say create a to-do, then it creates something with state as well. And there is front matter in there as well. So you can see what the status is. And if it's pending, that means it's found by the AI, most likely. And you need to say whether you want to do that. So the triage command looks at all pending to-dos to either set them to ready, and then you can resolve all of them, and we'll see how that goes. Mr. Saunier asked, do you do all of this with one Claude Max subscription? Yes, I do all of this with one Max subscription. So it's fine. Like I do a lot of it. I have to say last month I had to use some extra usage, but that was honestly, it was the first month ever that I had to buy some extra, and I don't know, $150 extra or something like that. So it wasn't even too bad. It was the first time, but it's fine. Like the Max subscription has a lot, and also you can buy 2 if you want. So if you do this for work, $200 is not a lot. If you do this for hobby, maybe $200 is a lot, but I would still say try the 20 or the 100, and if you hit limits a lot. Okay, it found it. So now I do triage. Sometimes I switch to Haiku here because it's faster. But the issue I had yesterday was I did that and I forgot I switched it, and then I started working on something else, and I got very, very annoyed by how dumb it was. And it took me 30 minutes to realize I was using Haiku, and I was like, what is going on? And then it's nice to realize it's a good reminder of like how good Opus 4.5 is. Haiku is great, but it's not as good as Opus for sure. Okay, so CLI authentication stores account ID in the JWT user tenant. Okay, without verifying the user has permission to access the account. So malicious user could potentially manipulate the session. How? So what would it change account find to current? Okay, yeah, sure, yeah, current accounts, of course. Yes, we should. We should scope always, yes. Yeah, honestly, is there, oh, maybe there's a chat on X as well. Oh shit, I forgot. Okay, so I'm just looking at the chat. I don't know. I don't see any chat on X. Sorry, guys, if anyone is chatting with me on X, I've not seen any of it. I will figure out how it works next time, because if I open it, I just see nothing here. So I've only responded, hi. Maybe there's no one on X. I don't know. I don't like in my head. I just have 2 viewers on X now. Some professional show me how chat with live stream on X works, but yeah, I see nothing on X. So chat wise, but I see only the stuff in. So okay, it works. Okay, I was just the first one to chat on X. So see, 2 viewers on X. I told you. I told you. Yeah, I know there are a bunch of viewers on X. I think we're hitting 2025 now. I don't know if that's total viewers right now or views in total. It doesn't really matter. I'm very happy with my 10 viewers. So Sonnet is a viable alternative if Opus is overkill. Sure, but I never hit my limits, and Opus 4.5 is like it is special. It's better. Like and it's not like better in like it's a higher number or it's like newer. It's like a different realm of a model. It's like a new model that didn't exist before. So I think it's like Sonnet 3.5. Is if you would say, can I use Sonnet 3 or Sonnet 3.5? Like it's just different. Like it's very different. Okay, someone sent a link. Go here. Yeah, I do see. Yeah, I do see all of the chats for Google coming in here. It's just on, I don't see any on X. Maybe I had to open it to see it in live, but I do see it now. So next time I know how to open it. So if anyone asks me questions in X, please ask them again because I now see them, but didn't see them before, sorry. My apologies. Okay, let's go. Let's continue. The email option into the create command looks the email without tenant scoping. Yeah, that's bad. Yeah, that's bad. We need to scope to the current account because we use, we use current account. So just current account dot to dos. That's the scope. So this is great. It's catching. Good stuff. I'm just surprised that it did that, but. So actually, this is a good point to say compound. Okay, you make sure internal wire and other places we always scope by the current user. So this is the compound, famous compound command from the compound engineering. Oh shit, I do the wrong. Do workflows, workflows compound. So workflows compound is now you have something that you don't want to make the same mistake another time. You running this command will like change your Claude setup in a way where it will review for those mistakes in the future, especially in the review command. And it will document that this shouldn't be the case. So next time when you do a plan, it will make sure it didn't do it. That's the whole point. So it will compound. So it will learn and compound over. So this is the compound command in action. And yeah, after that, we'll continue with the triage. You can also see here in the bottom, my status line here has these to-dos here, so I can see how many pending there are and how many ready there are, which is kind of fun. Glenn asked, do you have special use cases where Opus excels compared to Sonnet? The current workflows seem to fit for Sonnet. I mean, yes, what I do now, probably Sonnet or Haiku would be fine because this is not very intense, but I just use Opus for everything because why not? But if you are token conscious, I would, in triage, for example, just use, what you also can do is you can define it per sub-agent. So you can say the sub-agents use haiku if it's like easy stuff like linting or stuff like that. But it's just for me, I never really hit the limits, and if I go over, it's like never more than a little bit, so that's fine. Okay, so it's compounding. Hey, Amit. Sorry, guys, I've not seen the chat in X and it doesn't have history of it. What is the purpose of workflow command you used earlier with work? Yeah, work. So workflows work. You give it a plan and it will just implement it. So it's like, go finish this work. It's the second step in the compound engineering flow. So you have a plan or a GitHub issue or linear ticket, whatever you have, and you say, okay, do it. And the output is a pull request. So you have a plan and out comes a pull request. That's the command there. And what we're doing now is the review one. Yeah, so what does Compound do? It can do different things. It can create documentation. So with front matter, so like it can look things up a little bit rag-ish. So when there are some best practices, it can store docs. It can do, yeah, it can change your CloudMD. It can change agents as well, like if a certain thing is encapsulated in an agent, and it can also change skills. So basically, it can do all of those things. But yeah, it's basically you change files. That's what it does. But it's just handy that it's more